Jillian Lynch, owner of Leaven Brewing Company. I appreciate you coming on WMNF. Thanks so much for joining me.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
What can you tell us about being a brewery owner in Florida since March? What's it been like?
Well, I learned to swim when I was really young, but all of a sudden I'm drowning and I don't see a lifeboat around. So, I mean, it's been tough. We've been closed more days than we've been open in the year of 2020.
So the state ordered all bars like yours closed in March, and then you were allowed to reopen. Did you reopen later on?
We did. We reopened under CDC guidelines. We operate a lot like restaurants. Most breweries do. We have tables. We don't do table service, but we operate pretty similarly. And so when the second closure came and restaurants were allowed to remain open, we were all pretty confused.
And so that didn't apply to your establishment because you serve more alcohol than food, right? So you had to close down again. And that's one of the concerns that the Craft Brewing Association has had in Florida, that some breweries that are allowed to have that operate as restaurants are allowed to stay open, whereas you're supposed to be closed. So what do you think would be a good solution? How do you think the state could fix this?
I mean, the state needs to allow us to operate and self-regulate. We can do that under CDC guidelines. As I mentioned before, breweries are a sanitary place. I mean, even just to make beer, it's 99% cleaning during the day. My brewer wears his own PPE, touching chemicals. We sanitize this place, once in the morning and once at night. And so, I think we're cleaner than most restaurants.
So the argument that a lot of people would congregate in closed spaces and it could be potentially become a super spreader event for COVID-19, you think that your establishment would be able to open with things that could prevent that?
I think we can open safely. As mentioned before, it's just like a restaurant. People sit at tables to enjoy one another. We don't normally have packs of people in here congregating real close. It's not like a college bar, where you have people huddled around the bar trying to get a drink. It's a very civilized place.
The Florida Craft Brewing Association is having a campaign that's really focused on today and contacting the state's Department of Business and Professional Regulation. Why don't you tell people about that campaign and how they can get involved?
Yeah, so if you check out the Facebook page, Instagram page of the Florida Brewers Guild, you'll find a letter that was written to the DBPR Secretary Halsey Beshears, as well as our Governor Ron DeSantis. And it's pretty much just laying it all out there, saying how breweries are community places and that we are in a losing game right now. We're at a point where we may lose more than 100 breweries in the state of Florida. And you have to remember, breweries are mostly mom and pop shops. It's myself and my husband who opened this brewery. This is all we have. And if this doesn't work out, I mean, we're starting from scratch again with nothing. And so this letter kind of just outlines what craft beer is. And if anyone's willing to help, you can go ahead and repost that letter and tag our governor at Ron DeSantis.
Well, Jillian Lynch, owner of Leaven Brewing in Riverview, those were my only questions, but is there anything else that you'd like to leave our listeners with?
I think many of your listeners will agree with me that breweries are community places and that they feel safe here in our tap rooms. I'd like it to be known that all we're doing is requesting an even playing field. Right now, it kind of feels like someone's in the game of picking winners and losers, and craft beer is definitely the loser in this sense. So we're just looking to be allowed to open as everybody else, following CDC guidelines.
Jillian Lynch, owner of Leaven Brewing in Riverview, thank you so much for coming on WMNF.
I appreciate you. Thank you.
Right.